What up, YouTube? Here with a prediction video for Tyson Fury versus Dillian Whyte going down at the Wembley Stadium in London, England on pay-per-view this Saturday. It's going to be for Tyson Fury's WBC title. I don't know if the Ring Magazine title's on the line, but the WBC for sure is, because the WBC was the organization that mandated Tyson Fury to defend that title versus their interim champion, Dillian Whyte. So these two former gym mates are going to mix it up for that title in front of a sold-out crowd over there in Wembley in London, England. And this is Tyson Fury's long-awaited return in his hometown of England. He's obviously had his last few fights in America. And Dillian Whyte is a household name over there in England. He's been holding down the local heavyweight boxing scene in England for some time now. And this is a highly anticipated fight, especially over there. Now, I know with, other parts of the world, we are all campaigning for that undisputed heavyweight title showdown between the two champions, Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk. This ain't that fight, but it calls for an exciting fight. This definitely got some hype behind it. Obviously, when the heavyweight title's on the line between a recognizable champion and a recognizable contender, it's obviously going to make some noise. And the heavyweight boxing scene had a revival ever since, the end of the Klitschko era. And who's responsible for ending the Klitschko era? Tyson Fury. Obviously, we all know the story. Tyson Fury, after defeating Klitschko, he had, 2 title defenses. After ending that Klitschko era, when he defeated Vladimir Klitschko way back then he retired, giving up those titles, and came back and fought the most feared puncher in the sport. He still might be the most feared puncher in the sport, Deontay Wilder, in which I thought, Tyson Fury won the first fight in my opinion, but the judges scored it a draw. Then he went on to, take matters to his own hands and not leave it up to the judges for the second and third fight, and he stopped Deontay Wilder and won the WBC and Ring Magazine heavyweight titles. And then he's also had a fight versus Otto Wallin, and I don't know who else he fought in between, his rivalry with longtime rival Deontay Wilder. But Otto Wallin was supposed to be Dillian Whyte's opponent back in October of last year, but Whyte had to pull out of that fight due to injuries that he suffered during his camp, during the lead up to that fight. And that fight would have been for the WBC interim heavyweight title, and Wallin gave up a good fight versus Tyson Fury. I say, if you compare Tyson Fury's fight versus Deontay Wilder, I'm talking about Wilder versus Fury 2 and 3. I think Wallin put up more of a fight. Technically, I'm speaking, because he ain't dropped Tyson Fury like Wilder did. But technically speaking, like skill-wise speaking, I think Wallin gave more of a trouble to Fury than Wilder did. And I think Wallin would have went ahead and beat Dillian Whyte, and that goes on to tell y'all pretty much that I'm picking Tyson Fury to win this fight. In what way? I say give it like 5-6 rounds, 7 rounds the most. Tyson Fury gets Dillian Whyte out of there. I think he drops him a few times before he stops Dillian Whyte. I think he potentially could possibly knock him out, like out cold. Dillian Whyte, I don't think, has a better chin than Deontay Wilder necessarily. He's been knocked out before. Both his losses came via knockout. He got knocked out by Anthony Joshua, who is a heavy puncher. I say more of a heavy puncher than Tyson Fury. Yeah, I could confidently say that. He got knocked out by Anthony Joshua a few years back in his first defeat. Then he got knocked out by Alexander Povetkin. No salt, but he got knocked out by a 40-plus-year-old, out of shape, post-COVID recover Alexander Povetkin in their first fight, and what could have been 2020's candidate for knockout of the year. And he went on to avenge that L, though, early 2021 by knocking out Povetkin. But, that's what we all expected him to do in the first fight. And, he hasn't fought since then. Like I said, he was supposed to fight Wallin back in fall of last year, but he had to pull out of that fight. And I was favoring Walden to go over White if they were to fight. And Tyson Fury, stylistically speaking, I think, he causes a whole lot of trouble for Dillian Whyte. I just don't see Dillian Whyte winning in any way. Like, styles make fights, and I can't pinpoint on why and how Dillian Whyte could beat Tyson Fury this Saturday. I think Tyson Fury is a better boxer all around. I think he's gonna utilize that reach advantage and establish that jab, and I'll work him on the outside, moving around the ring, using the jab, hitting him with the straight right. And any time where Dillian Whyte will want to close that gap and get on the inside, I think Tyson Fury is going to clinch him up and put all his weight on Dillian Whyte, which is going to cause fatigue. And I think Tyson Fury throughout this fight is going to wear Dillian Whyte out and break him down fundamentally and drop him a few times and possibly knock him out cold. And that's my pick, Tyson Fury to retain his heavyweight title via knockout. This is rumored to be Tyson Fury's last fight. I hope not, because I want to see that undisputed title fight. But, he's gave enough to the sport. He's made a fortune out of his career. If any man deserves to retire right now, it's Tyson Fury. Who doesn't want to retire on top? Who doesn't want that Floyd Mayweather, Joe Calzaghe, Andre Ward kind of story where, they retire undefeated as champions? And, Tyson Fury could possibly join that elite list. We'll see this Saturday. And, he's got a chance like any other fighter. This is a fight. This is the fight game. I don't know who's picking Dillian Whyte to potentially win this match. He's got some power. He can hit. He's made some improvements fundamentally lately. I'm not talking about the Povetkin fight, but, post Joshua fight, he's made some improvements. But like I said, man, I just don't see how Dillian Whyte can pull this win off. It would be a huge upset if he were able to pull it off. If y'all got a prediction video, I'll be more than glad to, hear y'all predictions. And if y'all got a video and shit that y'all want me to check it out, I'll check it out. Anyways, that does it for my prediction video for this fight. I gave y'all my preview for this upcoming heavyweight title bout. Y'all let me know what y'all thoughts are in the comments. Comment, subscribe, share, like, all that good stuff. And yeah, be safe, be healthy, and I'm out, y'all. Peace.